You're at the grocery store, minding your own business when you see it. Limit 12 per customer, slapped across a jar of pasta sauce you didn't even want 5 seconds ago. And suddenly, you need it. 3 jars go in your cart. You have no idea if it's a good deal. You just know there's a limit, and that does something weird to your brain. Those jars will sit in your pantry until end of 2027. Congratulations, you played yourself. Or here's another one. You spend way too long writing a thoughtful comment on some political post. A stranger responds with something stupid and mean. Your heart starts pounding. You fire back. Now you're 3 hours deep in an argument with someone whose profile picture is literally a cartoon frog. You're exhausted, you're angry, and you have no idea how you got here. Welcome to being human. The problem isn't that you're dumb or weak-willed. The problem is your brain is running on ancient software that hasn't been updated since we lived in caves. It's dealing with 11 million bits of information every second, but it can only actually process about 40 of them. So it cheats, it takes shortcuts, it guesses, and most of the time, you have no clue it's even happening. You think you're making rational decisions. Really, you're just along for the ride. But here's the good news. Once you know how these mental shortcuts work, you can catch yourself in the act. You can't fix your brain, it is what it is, but you can at least stop falling for the same tricks over and over. Let's start with the one that's probably destroying your social media experience right now. 2 people watch the same football game. One thinks the ref is fair, the other thinks the ref is actively trying to screw over their team. Are they watching the same game? Technically, yes. Practically, no way. This is confirmation bias, and it's everywhere. Your brain is basically a bouncer at a nightclub, and it only lets in information that agrees with what you already believe. Everything else gets turned away at the door. There's this famous study from Stanford where they showed people research about the death penalty. Some studies said it worked as a deterrent, others said it didn't. What happened? Everyone thought the study that agreed with them was brilliant and well designed. The one that disagreed? Garbage methodology, obviously. They weren't evaluating evidence, they were just building higher walls around beliefs they already had. Or think about this, you buy a Toyota Prius. Suddenly they're everywhere. Wow, everyone drives a Prius. No, your brain just has a new filter. Same thing happens with politics. You follow people who think like you. The algorithm shows you more of the same. Your beliefs feel more and more true, not because they are, but because you've built yourself a cozy little echo chamber. So, what do you do about it? Hunt for the 3-star review. Seriously. When you're convinced about something, a product, a politician, an idea, don't just read the 5-star raves or the 1-star hate. Find the thoughtful middle ground review. That's where reality lives. Make it a game. Can you find one smart piece of writing that disagrees with you today? It's uncomfortable, but it works. There's a sweater with a tag that says $250 on sale for $125. What a deal. You buy it. But what if that same sweater had a tag that said $100 on sale for $125? You'd walk right past it, offended. Same sweater, different story. That's anchoring bias. Your brain latches onto the first number it sees, and everything after that is colored by it. Kahneman and Tversky, who won a Nobel Prize for this stuff, did this wild experiment. They spun a wheel that could only land on 10 or 65. Then they asked people to guess what percentage of African nations were in the UN. The people who saw a 10 guessed around 25%. The people who saw 65 guessed around 45%. A completely random, meaningless number changed their entire answer about the world. This happens to you constantly. Salary negotiations, car shopping, even your own goals. I'll lose £5 becomes an anchor, and stopping at 4 feels like failure. The fix? Write your number down first. Before you walk into a negotiation or see a price, put your number on paper. This is what I'll pay. This is the salary I deserve. When you hear their anchor, you can look at your paper and remember you already had a different number in mind. It breaks the spell. The one where you convince yourself you knew it all along. The 2008 financial crisis happened because of Wall Street greed. Your startup failed because your co-founder was lazy. That relationship ended because they were a narcissist. Clean stories, simple explanations. Our brains eat this stuff up, but real life is messy and complicated and random. This is the narrative fallacy. We weave tidy cause and effect stories to explain chaotic events, and its evil twin is hindsight bias, the I knew it all along effect. After any major event, an election, a market crash, whatever, if you ask people what they predicted would happen, they consistently overestimate how much they actually knew. Their memory rewrites itself. The uncertainty disappears. It was obvious, they say. You look back on a failed project and think, the signs were all there, but the signs weren't clear at the time. They were just noise. You're reading the last page of a mystery novel and pretending you knew who the killer was from page 1. This bias makes you a terrible learner. If you think you knew it all along, you never actually figure out what went wrong. The solution? Keep a decision journal. I know, it sounds boring, but it's genuinely life-changing. When you make a big decision, write down what you decided, why you decided it, and what you think will happen. Put it in an envelope. Open it 6 months later. You will be humbled. You'll see your own flawed reasoning, your overconfidence, all the stuff you didn't account for. It kills hindsight bias dead and teaches you actual wisdom. The one where your brain sorts everyone into teams. You meet someone new. They're from your hometown, or they love the same weird band you do. Instant connection. Now you're more likely to trust their opinion about something completely unrelated, like investment advice. That's in-group bias. Your ancient tribal brain sorts everyone into us, good, smart, trustworthy, and them, bad, dumb, suspicious. And it happens fast. Psychologists did these experiments where they randomly assigned people to groups based on meaningless criteria. Instantly, people favored their own group members, trusted them more, gave them more resources. They created tribes out of nothing in seconds. You see this everywhere. Apple versus Android fights, office politics. Why you might dismiss a good idea just because it came from a different department. The way out? Actively look for competent people outside your tribe. Find a conservative economist who explains debt really well. A liberal sociologist with brilliant insights. Your brain will short-circuit trying to reconcile them with smart. That's how you break the tribal programming. Here's the thing. Though you can't eliminate these biases, they're built into your operating system. Your brain evolved to keep you alive, not to make you rich or happy or right. For thousands of years, fast and good enough beat slow and perfect. That wiring is still there, making you buy pasta sauce you don't need and fight with strangers on the internet, but you can design around it. You can install checkpoints. Before a financial decision, what anchor just got planted in my head? What's my real number? Before forming a strong opinion, have I actually looked for evidence that I'm wrong? When analyzing a failure, check your decision journal, not your conveniently rewritten memory. When feeling tribal, find one smart voice from the other side. You'll still make terrible decisions. We all do. But at least there'll be new, creative, spectacular mistakes, not the same old ones your brain has been tricking you into your whole life. And honestly, that's progress. Thank you for watching till the end. We love making these videos for you, and we are just getting started. If you appreciate what we do, please subscribe. It would mean the world to us.